Hello, and welcome back to the Casey Undercover live reading series, written and editing now in real time. We're in the first book of the of the Casey Undercover trilogy, entitled Redacted, where Casey, having been ousted from her wire service for exposing the wrong entities, has returned to her hometown where she is now working in the library. She's been given a notebook by an elderly gentleman, only to have him or someone who looks like him turn up dead on her property. This may look like mainstream fiction. A disgraced journalist chasing a story, but it is also another way of asking deeper questions about truth, narrative control, memory, and who gets to decide what's real. Story lets us feel the stakes instead of arguing about them from a distance. Chapter 12 shifted the danger from the archives to Casey's home. As she studied the notebook and began connecting the ledgers to a secret board, she realized someone was watching her, and a mysterious man indeed appeared at the edge of her property, who fled. The next day, she and Jenna compare notes, confirm the tunnels were secretly used after the collapse, and decide to delay Jenna's date with Mal while Casey quietly calls in backup. Okay, so that was chapter 12, and we are moving on to 13 now, and here we go. There's a saying in towns like Wallamalsink, the past ain't dead, it's just waiting for someone senseless enough to dig it back up. Unfortunately, I've always been that kind of senseless. So I start asking questions, the kind that makes people the kind that make people nervous. They turn polite smiles brittle, that get doors shut a little too hard in my face. The kind that make people suddenly remember something they need to do in the back room the moment I step inside. Then the messages start. A slip of paper tucked under my windshield at the grocery store. Let it go. Another one scrawled in shaky, unfamiliar handwriting, tucked between the pages of a book I never checked out. You don't want to know. The break-ins come next. Nothing missing, but things moved. A drawer left half open that I know I closed. A coffee mug shifted a few inches to the left on the counter. A book left out, open to a page I hadn't been reading. Then the phone calls. No voice, just breathing. Just a presence on the other end of the line, lingering, waiting. Then there's the prospector. I call him that because he's got a face like weathered leather and a voice of rusted metal. He stops me one night as I'm unlocking my car outside the library. Deep people who dig in the black vein don't last, he rasps. A warning, a threat, and a promise all rolled into one. I should be scared. Maybe I am, because he looks suspiciously like the guy I caught prowling on my property. I grip my keys and meet his gaze. Guess I'll have to pace myself then. I push past him before he can say another word, my pulse hammering. Luke is waiting for me at the end of the block. He takes one look at my face, and his expression shifts. What time tonight? He asks. Suddenly, arranging for him to come with me to spy on Jenna and her date no longer feels like a casual invitation. It feels like a decision that might keep us breathing. Jenna and I are leaving the coffee shop with to-go cups on the morning of her impending date. I seize my moment. Speaking of chai, I say casually, you should cancel your date with Mal tonight. Jenna's face falls into an instant dramatic pout. What does chai have to do with... Oh, well, anyway, Casey, no. She drags out the word like I just told her she has to live without Wi-Fi. We talked about this. He thinks he's getting the real notebook tonight out of after countless delays. He's a cop, I repeat, bracing for the fight, not some lovesick accountant. You can't just play along with people like that. She rolls her eyes as we enter my beetle, and I remind her harmless men don't order evidence to be handed over in exchange for dinner reservations. Jenna opens her mouth, then closes it. A flicker of doubt. I press on. If he doesn't get what he wants, he's going to turn on you. And I don't mean just over the notebook we made. We'd started it days ago. It still needed a few tweaks. Jenna shifts in her seat, frowning into her $7 latte. I can handle Mal, she says finally, but there's an edge in her voice. Sure, I say, right up until you can't. She throws up a hand. Well, what do you want me to do then? Just blow him off? You think he won't come looking for me? I exhale sharply. You're right. If you cancel now, it will make him suspicious. Wait, what are you up to, agreeing with me like that? Her eyes turn wary. I say with a subtle shift in my tone, at least you won't be alone. She tilts her head, on guard. I keep my expression innocent, which is difficult given that I am genetically designed for sarcasm. I called in security. Jenna pauses, then recoils. I swear I hear her wheels turning. No, she says suddenly. She shakes her head, acting like I suggested summoning demons from the underworld. No, 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 absolutely not. I suppress a smile. So dramatic, Jenna. Why on earth not? She glares at me, aghast. You know why. So you dated him briefly. What's the big deal? You know how it was. It was just a bit here and there, you said. It was not a bit here and there, Casey. I gave her a look. I give her a look. You're telling me you'd rather go to dinner with a rattlesnake cop than have me call up a trained security expert? She huffs, crossing her arms. You don't know him, she mutters. I think I do, I say sweetly. She glares. She looks around wildly as if the words physically pain her. He, he alphabetized my spaces, Casey. I blink. That is awful. She waves her hand. He optimizes things, my things. He categorizes socks by color without permission. A man who values efficiency and preparedness? I am scandalized. Someone who throws out beauty implements stored in your car is deranged, in my opinion. She slumps against the back of her chair. I shoot her a look, impressed. You're saying the reason you broke up with our best chance at personal protection is because he was organized? Jenna narrows her eyes. You weren't there, okay? Your leftovers weren't the ones being labeled. I stare. She huffs. You need a bodyguard tonight, I tell her. It's one night. She glares. I smile. Then she growls. If he so much as tries to discuss closet systems with me, I swear he won't go near you unless your dream date gets out of hand, I assure her with a note of triumph. I am vastly pleased. Jenna might not always listen to me, but when I play her right, she lands where I need her to. Back in my cottage, Jenna mumbles while pacing around my living room. This is a terrible idea. It is a brilliant idea, I correct as I adjust Auntie Matilda's hand-embroidered couch pillows. It's a disaster, she groans. Jenna jabs a figure at me. Luke Anders better keep his distance. Yes, he's a menace, I say. Jenna huffs. You'll see. Once he starts organizing your linens, you'll be right behind me. Noted. I grab my phone, hit Luke's contact. Jenna gasps. Fiend. It's ringing, I say. I hold out the phone. Say hello. We meet Luke a half hour later at a hole in the wall just outside town, the kind of place where tap beer is $2, the jukebox plays Elvis, and the bartender looks like she's witnessed at least 3 murders and buried the bodies herself. Jenna fidgets the whole way there, a bad sign. This was a mistake, she mutters as we step inside. You already said that, I say. Then we see him, Luke Anders, rugged ex-military in his too good for this town, high efficient glory. He's at the bar, forearms folded, posture relaxed, but with underlying sharpness, like he's 1 second away from ushering the patrons to the emergency exit. He turns, meets Jenna's gaze. Jenna freezes. Jenna, he says, voice unreadable. Jenna blinks. Luke. A pause. A long pause. I have zero patience for this. Okay, great. You both remember each other's names, I cut in, dropping onto the stool next to Luke. Shall we skip to the part where we confirm things? Just for one evening, Jenna emphasizes, taking a stool as far away from Luke as possible. For one evening, I say. Luke drags his attention to me. Like I mentioned, Jenna needs to listen to instructions when she's on her date tonight. Jenna lets out a strangled noise. I do not need instructions, she murmurs. You do if you're going to dinner with Mal Whitaker, I shoot back. Luke's expression changes. Mal Whitaker? Yes, I say. I didn't give you his name? Luke cranes to see Jenna, his expression sharp. You're having dinner with Mal Whitaker? He asks. Jenna shrugs, feigning indifference. It's not like that. Luke tilts his head, assessing. What's it like, Jenna B? Jenna B? I tried not to gag on my Pilsner. Jenna holds his gaze, then exhales. Casey blackmailed me into it. I smile. Luke laughs. Oh, of course she did. I nudge Jenna with my knee. Jenna whips her head around to glare at me. Luke ignores us, leaning in to address Jenna. If I do this, he says, calm and deliberate, I'm in charge. Sorry, found an error. You listen, you follow. No distractions, no improvising, no playing with fire just because you think you can charm your way out of things. Great. Another one in charge. That makes 4 at last count, 5 if you include Chubbs. Jenna looks offended. Excuse you, Jenna B., he says in a cajoling tone. She huffs, crossing her arms. Fine. Luke nods, stands up. Good, let's go. Jenna gawks. Wait, we're not doing this yet. I have to get ready. You have a problem. I'm coming now. She looks at me. I shrug with a grin. Luke motions to the door. Clock's ticking. Jenna, muttering something like overbearing lunatic, grabs her coat and follows. As we walk out, I can't help but think that this night was about to be far more entertaining than I'd originally thought. I couldn't be more wrong. By the time evening rolls around, I've regretted to this plan at least 12 times because Jenna is fully committed, not just to going, but going full femme fatale. First, though, we showed Luke the fake notebook we've created. He flips through the pages, nodding at the level of inventive deceit we have achieved. Not bad. Jenna snorts. Not bad. This is art. This is deception at its finest. This is a glorified middle school history project, I cut in. Jenna points to the pages. The tea stains are just right, and our scribbles make it look lived in. She adds, then we heated the pages with a hairdryer until they felt warped and brittle. So, I explained to Luke, we're not handing Mal the real notebook and instead giving him this truly masterful forgery. Jenna claps her hands together. I love crime. It's not crime. It's self-preservation. She winks. Self-preservation with a little crime. I sigh. Let's just hope your new beau can't tell the difference. Luke and I await Jenna's transformation on Auntie Matilda's tweed sofa. We're resigned to our exile as she disappears into my bedroom, emerging finally to ask, "Does this look good?" I feel Luke stiffen beside me, meaning his entire body, of course. Jenna's outfit looks like she's walked off a film set. Heels high enough to be a hazard, hair arranged in one of those, "oh, I just threw this together" styles that took her at least an hour, and a dress that I suspect is doing at least 80% of the heavy lifting for this whole operation. Trying too hard, I note as she applies a swipe of lipstick. "Casey, please," she scoffs. "Seduction is science." This is a security risk, Luke notes with more than an edge of jealousy. This is Mal Whitaker getting exactly what he wants, I correct. Jenna avoids Luke's glare. "Just call it distraction from the fake notebook," she replies. The restaurant is one of those pretend to be upscale joints, the kind that charges $25 for lasagna but serves margaritas with unbranded tequila and offers half-price appetizers on Tuesdays. Jenna struts inside and stops, a debutante waiting to be announced. Mal Whitaker is waiting, leaning back in his chair, all confident smirks and barely concealed arrogance. I am 2 tables away, tucked in a deeply lit booth, wearing an outfit so aggressively un-Casey-like that no one in their right mind should recognize me. "This is an ungodly plan," Luke mutters, sliding into the seat across from me. "We've had worse," I say, adjusting Auntie Matilda's oversized sweater that I picked to blend into the background. Its labels stab me in the neck. Luke, ever the professional, has scanned the restaurant. His presence is reassuring, even if he looks like he'd rather literally be anywhere else. "You think he'll try something?" I ask, my voice a whisper. "Of course he will. Whitaker's got a reputation as a cad." "He thinks he's in control," I murmur, as Mal leans across the table toward Jenna. Luke's jaw is tight. "Not for long." I nurse a red wine and pretend to read the menu while eavesdropping. At first, it's predictable. Mal pours on the charm. Jenna plays along, all smiles and laughter with enough detachment to keep him guessing. Then Mal, thinking he's got her where he wants her, leans in. "I think we can come to an arrangement," he says, his fingertip touching the rim of her glass. Jenna tilts her head. "Oh, what kind of arrangement?" I see the flicker in Luke's expression, then in Mal's, who thinks she's folding. He pulls out a business card, slides it across the table. "You bring the notebook to me privately." He gives her a slow smile. "Just you and me, a little exchange." Jenna, to her credit, doesn't flinch. Mal chuckles, low and knowing, as if Jenna's answer is obvious. Jenna lifts her wine glass, takes a sip, and then, without breaking eye contact, slides the fake notebook across the table. The decoy. The one we spent hours doctoring, staining, filling with fake scrawls in the margins, ensuring it looked just real enough to pass a casual glance. Mal doesn't look at it. Instead, he rubs his thumb along the edge of the pages. I see his air shift. He knows it's fake. I hold my breath, waiting for an explosion. But Mal is too calculating for that. He flips it open and lands on one of Jenna's deliberately messy notes. He reads it with a smirk, then smoothly slides it back. "Jenna, Jenna, Jenna." She doesn't blink. Mal leans in with a lowered voice. You think I don't know your two friends are sitting right over there? That I don't recognize Luke Anders or your good friend Casey Layton? He taps the notebook. As for this little piece of theater, he gives a slow shake of his head. Tampering with evidence in a murder investigation? You thinking I can be bought off with a forgery is insulting to me. Jenna's fingers tighten around her wineglass. Mal laughs, amused. But let's not fight about it. That would be messy. His fingers drum the table. Then he tilts his head, studying her like a gift he'll relish unwrapping. Tell you what, he exhales as if making a great concession. I'll pretend you didn't just try to commit a felony and in return he taps his glass, will be accommodating when I ask for something. Jenna's smile stays in place, but I know that look in her eyes. The one that says she's calculating, waiting for an opening. Define accommodating, she says too smoothly. Mal grins. I think you and that dress know what I mean. He leans back, casual, as if he's just suggested meeting for coffee instead of doling out blackmail. Mal pushes his business card further toward her. I'll see you soon, my lady. And with that, he stands, straightens his jacket, and stalks away. None of us say anything until he's out of sight. Then Jenna, voice steady but razor sharp, mutters, I really, really, really want to stab him. Jenna waits exactly 3 seconds before exhaling. That was exhausting. That was reckless, I say flatly. That was unnecessary, Luke counters. I pull on a strand of hair. Next time, let's not taunt the scary cop, yeah? Casey, I told you, Jenna repeats. Seduction is a science. I groan. Luke glowers. Truth is supposed to be something solid, reliable, immutable. At least that's what I tell myself when I'm piecing together a story, following the threads, trying to make sense of the world one fact at a time. But every time I think I'm starting to see the shape of this thing, it shifts like an airtape painting, where the image changes the longer you stare at it. First, it was just a mind collapse, a tragedy with clear victims and even clearer culprits. Then it was a conspiracy, a trail of cover ups, old lies stitched together with missing people and unsolved deaths. And now I don't know what to call it, because a few hours ago I nearly got leveled by a damn SUV. We had just stepped outside the restaurant. Jenna was still smarting over that elaborate game of flirtation I was trying very hard to ignore. Mal, who was a few feet ahead of us, was smugly striding away, enjoying himself far too much, and for about 30 blessed seconds I let myself believe that the rest of the night was going to be uneventful. That's when the beast machine came hurtling through the parking lot. A black Dodge Ram, headlights glaring, monster trucks, tires shrieking, bore down on us like a battering ram on steroids. Luke saw it and yelled. I barely had time to react. 1 second I was stepping off the curb. The next, a blur, a roar of an engine, a flicker of movement behind the wheel. And then impact. Or it would have been, because in one swift, barely human movement, Luke slammed into me, shoving me straight into Mal as the ram swerved. Mal's shot went wide, but the truck still clipped me hard. Pain exploded as I hit the pavement, the world tilting, flipping, spinning. I registered the sickening crack of my head against the asphalt as I heard the gunshot. Mal! His Glock was out, stance solid, arms locked as he fired a round at the driver. The truck peeled off, tires screaming as it vanished into the night. And me? I lay there, dizzy, nauseous, throat raw from a scream I don't remember making. If it hadn't been for Luke, I would be dead. I would be dead. So here's how it went down. Luke, after shoving me aside, lunged sideways to avoid getting clipped by the turning vehicle and simultaneously tackled Jenna to the ground. She screamed bloody murder. Why? Because she thought Mal had thrown himself on top of her. Her exact words were, "Get off me, you creep!" Which, while hilarious in hindsight, was not helpful in the moment. Meanwhile, I was bleeding, concussed, and definitely not thrilled about my near-death experience. An ambulance came. I went to the hospital. Mal shouted instructions into his phone. Jenna cussed. Luke stood there, arms crossed, watching with a look that said, "I told you so." And now? Now, Luke Anders has officially decided he's our personal bodyguard at no extra charge, which means he has an agenda. And if I had to guess, that agenda has something to do with a certain Jenna B. But you know what? I am not complaining because tonight made one thing absolutely clear. Someone is trying to kill me, and it has become very personal. Okay, thank you guys. I will see you tomorrow. Bye now.